Good afternoon. Welcome to the best of the best from the University Presses. My name is Kim Miller, and I am the Marketing and Membership Coordinator at the Association of American University Presses. The AAUP is a cooperative nonprofit organization that promotes the work and influence of university and scholarly presses. We provide cooperative marketing, professional development, and sales efforts to our members, and we help them respond to publishing's changing environments. The AAUP has a membership of over 130 member presses. In the interest of time, I strongly encourage everyone to visit the AAUP website at www.aaupnet.org. There you can find ample information about the association and the work that we do, including our upcoming University Press Week, which is scheduled to take place from November 10th to the 16th, 2013. Today, 4 members of the University Press Books Committee will each present titles that they feel to be the best of the best from the titles that they reviewed for the 23rd edition of University Press Books for Public and Secondary School Libraries, which is the bibliography that you all have in your hands right now. From Florentine at the Dawn of the Renaissance to The Warriors of the Plains, you're sure to see something in this presentation that exemplifies the wide range of disciplines that university and scholarly press publishers have to offer. There are additional print copies of this publication available here at this session, as well as at the Combined Book Exhibit booth, which is booth number 2325 in the exhibit hall. At the end of the presentations, 3 attendees will be selected to win our book raffle. Each will win a predetermined set of 4 or 5 of the 13 titles that are being presented today. So if you haven't already, please be sure to put your business card or a card with your name and contact information, including your email address, in the raffle box at the back of the room. One last thing before we get started. Since this is being taped, I would like to ask that everyone please take a moment to silence their phones or anything else that you have that might beep or ring. Also, if you need to leave the room, please try to do so without crossing the camera's view when you leave. Last but certainly not least, thank you to the wonderful ladies on the panel who have taken time out of their very busy schedules to prepare these presentations and be here today to present them. Our first presenter today is Nan Blaine Hilliard from Zion Benson Public Library. Thank you all so much for coming.
Kim, thank you very much for the introduction. It is certainly a pleasure for all of us on the committee to work with you throughout the year as we select books, find out our subject areas, and then have a wonderful time getting boxes of books that we can open and keep and write reviews. I'm very glad that Kim said that I did not actually have to bring the books for my presentation today. My first book, which is Florence at the Dawn of the Renaissance, and how do I do this? Weighs 6 pounds. It was published to coincide with an exhibit at the Getty Museum of Art. However, it's not just an exhibit catalog. It contains scholarly but readable essays about the artists and the milieu in which they worked. Florence in 1300 was in the greatest and happiest state in which it had ever been. It was great in nobility, and it ruled over the greater part of Tuscany, said a chronicler. Between 1245 and 1300, the city doubled in size from 45,000 to 90,000 due to industrial entrepreneurship. In 1330, there were more than 200 workshops devoted to wool manufacture and the production of other luxury goods. These shops employed skilled craftsmen who were members of guilds. The guilds ran the city as a Republican commune. It was just an extremely wealthy city. And all of those factors combined to produce some of the finest art in Western civilization on a very grand scale, very large paintings, panels, and frescoes, and on a very small scale, many illuminated manuscripts. Page 38 to 39 is a double page from the address of Prato to Robert of Anjou. Each page is 18 inches high and 13 inches wide. Christ enthroned is on the left and the Virgin Mary is on the right. The recipient was a learned bibliophile who would have enjoyed the interwoven text and illustration. Page 95 is a snippet from a larger page. These small illustrations amid the text, I think, are very appealing, and you can see that the faces all have individual characteristics. These are Dominican and Franciscan friars singing at lecterns from the Abbey Bible. One entire section of the book is devoted to the Laudario of Sant Agnesi. As shopkeepers, traders, and artisans became involved in civic life, they assembled in confraternities or compagnies to perform charitable works, and they gathered to sing. Their hymns were compiled in a songbook, and this one is a really splendid songbook. The leaves of this manuscript were long ago disassembled, but the Getty was able to find 28 of them in different collections and bring them back together for the first time in several hundred years. Page 216, which you see there, and if you really look at the detail, these graphic novels have nothing on these pictures. This is a close-up of the illustration of the page, The Apparition of Saint Michel. The archangel is battling Satan in the form of a dragon. This is from Revelation 12:4. And his tail drew the part of the stars of heaven and cast them to earth. Just look at all the dark demons in that picture. Some are derived from animals, monkeys, rams, an owl, and a lion, and others are just monsters. Maybe Max in his wolf suit ought to come in here. Page 246 shows St. Agnes enthroned, and you can see a staff, and that was part of the music that they sang. The final part of the book is called Technical Studies, and I found it very fascinating because it is an analysis of how this art was made. From the preparation of the vellum to the chemical composition of the pencils for sketches, the inks, and the paints. Here on page 346, you can see the lines for the three Graces' dresses underneath the lines of text. This is a cross-section of the artist Pacino's work. This is a technical description that says, showing the upper paint colors only, no underlying ground layer, visible light, crossed polarizing filters, a non-original varnish layer is also present. So it's, I think, fascinating what art historians do beyond just analyzing the content of the pictures. They're also looking at how the pictures were put together. Who would like this book? Those who are interested in Renaissance history, which encompasses art and culture, those who are interested in the forensics of art, and those who are interested in the history of books and printing. So I commend to you Florence at the Dawn of the Renaissance. Most of the books that I get to review, I donate to my library. But this one, I wrote to Kim immediately and said, I get to keep this one, because this is one for me. It is Canadian Folk Art to 1950. I was so excited to get this. Last year I got to review a comprehensive history of American folk art, and now I go up north to the Canadians. Folk art covers a multitude of genres and techniques. It's easy to know what it is, but it's sometimes hard to state what it is. Folk art draws grandeur, mystery, and magic from objects of everyday life. It cannot be assigned to an historical period or a site-specific culture, unlike the Renaissance book. Albert Giroux said, I don't think of myself as an artist, but as a bodger, a fix-it fellow, a dabbler. Folk art is narrative. It lays out the components of daily life and common experience. I think that folk art lifts the spirit. There is a bit of humor, a bit of storytelling, and a lot that anyone can relate to. This is another hefty book. It weighs 4.75 pounds, and it has more than 300 examples of folk art from across Canada. It was difficult for me to choose the best. Oh, I need to show him this one. I need to show him this one. But herewith are some of my favorites. That is, until I read the book again and find some more. So, and the the pictures that were taken took out the text, so I'm going to share with you what